Okay, so the show is starting. Hi, everyone out there. Not sure what I'm going to do for an introduction on this yet or not. Could be anything. I suppose I could say good morning. It's always morning somewhere. I could say hi, neighbor. I think that's been taken, though. So, welcome to the show. This is the Belk Show. I am starting my own show, basically just because I figured with everything going on, it might be a good way to stay in touch with people. This is a show for my friends. So if you're watching this show, you're my friend. Even if we never met in person, even if we never even met online. I'm going to probably share a link to this on my Facebook, and some of my Facebook friends can see it. This couch is kind of a mess. I've got a bunch of stuff just sitting here on my couch. This is actually an empty soda case, so I just use this to put the empty soda cans in when I throw it away. So that way, it's just less crap to take care of. This is a whole box of stuff that I got here, that is just random stuff that I've just kind of accrued as I've been sitting on the couch. Action figures and things like that, so I need to clean this whole thing up. It looks like a mess, I know, it's disgusting. So anyway, what I wanted to do today is discuss things that are going on in the world, and I know a lot of people are worried about a lot of things, and you know, you're right to be worried. There's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world right now, but there's a lot of good stuff going on in the world too. I think at the end of the day, we're going to survive this, and the human race is going to be, hopefully, better as a result of everything going on. Excuse me. Drink a lot of soda, so if I have a little bit of a burp, excuse me. So, this is not going to be a show for kids, so don't let your kids watch it. If any of my nieces and nephews are watching this show right now, your parents are doing a bad job. So stop watching this show. I'm putting my foot down. I'm sure they won't let you watch this show anyway. I'm going to curse a little bit, probably. And we're going to discuss adult situations on this series. So, you know, things like sex are going to come up. And things like violence are going to come up. Things that would scare little children, things that children won't understand. So don't let your kids watch this show. Maybe later on I'll do a show that's a kid's show. But I don't know. YouTube is weird. And I don't know if I should have an adult show on the same channel as a kid's show. So I might have to do a completely different channel to do a show for kids. But, anyway. It'd be a shame if my nieces and nephews couldn't watch anything that I did on YouTube. So, what I want to discuss today is the beer bug. You all know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to call it by its proper name. And the reason I'm not going to call it by its proper name is because I don't want to take a chance on certain powers that be pulling this video because I'm talking about something that everybody's talking about. You know, it's funny because I think it's something people do need to discuss. And we need to talk about the good and we need to talk about the bad. So, the main thing I want to discuss today is something I've noticed, and I'm sure a lot of you have noticed too, is that people are calling this an apocalypse. And people, when they call it an apocalypse, sometimes they've been doing it as like, you know, kind of an ironic thing, like, you know, how you would describe anything, you know, potentially disastrous or even mildly inconvenient as an apocalypse. And some people are talking about it like it's actually the end of the world. And it's not going to be the end of the world. It's not going to be the final destruction of the world. It's not going to be an apocalypse in the sense that most people think of the word. However, I do think it's going to be apocalyptic in a different way. And we're going to get into that in just a second. First, I want to look it up in the dictionary, because I want to get the actual definition. Alright, so I'm looking up the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. You can check that out for yourself. And here it is. Definition of the word apocalypse. 1. One of the Jewish, Christian writings of 200 BC to AD 150, marked by pseudonymity, symbolic imagery, and the expectation of an imminent cosmic cataclysm in which God destroys the ruling powers of evil and raises righteousness to life in a messianic kingdom. 2. something viewed as a prophetic revelation. 3A, a large disastrous fire, inferno. B, a great disaster, an environmental apocalypse. Alright, so let's look at the etymology of the word apocalypse, if we can. It should be here in the dictionary. And if not, okay, here we go. History and etymology for apocalypse. Middle English apocalypse, Revelation, the New Testament book, borrowed from the Anglo-French, borrowed from the late Latin apocalypsis. Revelation, the book of Revelation, borrowed from the Greek apocalypsis, uncovering, disclosure, revelation, from apocalypse, stem of apocalyptian, to uncover, disclose, or reveal. From apo plus calyptian, to cover, protect, conceal, of uncertain origin. Alright, so that's the thing that I'm most interested in, is the root of the word apocalypse. And as we've seen, the word apocalypse, the root word of it is not necessarily a sinister thing. It's not necessarily like an end-of-the-world scenario. It's not necessarily something where a bunch of people die or anything like that. It's a revelation. That's literally what it means. It means uncovering something. So, what I think is going to happen at the end of the day, excuse me, I'm going to take a sip, wet my whistle. This is not a plug for Kroger brand soda. I just like to drink it. What I think is going to happen at the end of the day is we're going to see big changes happen and things are going to become more transparent. That's what I suspect is going to happen eventually. It's going to be a tough going, though. We're going to have to get through this. And if we're going to get through this, we're going to have to lean on each other and support each other and help each other out when we can. So don't hesitate to reach out to your brothers and sisters and volunteer some help when you can. Whatever you got, whatever you can do. Like, I, for example, am somebody who usually buys toilet paper in bulk. So before this whole thing went down, I already had plenty of toilet paper. I didn't have to worry about having to go and buy some, but I know a lot of people who have been running out of toilet paper, so I've been checking on them and making sure that they're okay. So, hopefully what I'm thinking will happen with the toilet paper situation is in a couple of weeks, after everybody's bought their toilet paper, you know, your Walmarts, your Krogers, what have you, they're going to restock and they're going to have plenty of toilet paper for anybody. So you're going to have as much toilet paper as you need. So the most important thing is to get through the next couple of weeks, as far as that goes. Now after that, I think people might start, you know, stocking up on canned foods and things like that. They've already been doing that. And my advice to anybody out there who's watching, if you haven't already, is just make sure you got enough to last you a couple of weeks. Because like I said, eventually they're going to restock, and there's going to be plenty for everybody. The only reason that we ran out of stuff right now is because everybody was buying it at once, because everybody thought they needed to get it immediately. And maybe they did. I don't know. I don't know how bad things are going to get. But I think a couple of weeks is going to do everybody. And maybe we can just, like, you know, every couple of weeks go to the grocery store, pick up enough stuff for the next couple of weeks, and be done with it. Maybe that can be what we do in the immediate future. I don't know how long this thing's going to last. I've heard it could be as short as 2 weeks. I've heard it could be as long as 18 months. But I think as long as we keep, you know, socially distancing ourselves and making sure that, you know, we're washing our hands and everything like that, we should be good. Now, most people, I think, that get sick, they're just going to get sick, and they'll get better a couple of weeks later, and they'll be fine. From what I understand, the people who are most at risk are people who are elderly and people who have pre-existing conditions that could cause the virus to be more dangerous. And those are the people that we need to be concerned about, and we need to be taken the best care of. So if you have to have any kind of actual physical proximity with any of your friends or relatives who might be older or immunocompromised or anything, be extra special careful, because you definitely don't want to get those people sick. So I'm probably planning on curbing any kind of social interactions that I have with somebody in person for as long as this thing goes on, as much as I can. That means I can't really go see my parents, so I can't really go see my nephews. I don't want to get any of them sick. I don't want to get my niece sick. I don't want to get my sisters sick or anything like that. So I don't know. I could be carrying it right now. They say it takes up to 2 weeks to start showing any kinds of symptoms of it, and it's just going to be mild symptoms. So, like, it might be something where I just have, like, a cold or something, and for the most part, I'm fine. But, if say, I was to transmit that to somebody who was a family member who was already ill or elderly, that could be a lot worse for them. So, trying to keep as much of a distance from everybody as I possibly can. The less contact you have with people, the less chance that we're going to spread this virus around, and hopefully that'll be enough to knock it out. So, I don't think things are as serious as people are worried they're going to get, and I hope they don't get that way. I really hope they don't get that way. But that's no reason not to be cautious. If we're careful and we take care of each other, we're all going to get through this. So anyway, this was probably a pretty heavy subject to start the show off on, but I kind of felt like it needed to be addressed. It's probably something I'm going to be talking about a lot, and some of the subjects are going to be more lighthearted than others, I'm sure. I'll probably be talking about things I'm doing while this is going on. I already pointed out there's a little bit of a mess over here, and probably today I'm going to do some straightening up around this place that I've been meaning to do for a while. Anyway, I'm going to pop something on Netflix or Disney Plus or something like that, and just have that playing in the background, be picking up some stuff. I got some action figure parts coming in the mail, so I'm going to be putting those together. I'll probably show off some of my action figures on this channel, too. I might as well. But, like I said, the main purpose of this show is going to be for me to talk to my friends and my family. And, again, if you're watching this right now, I consider you my friend. Even if we never met online, anything like that. If you see me in person, feel free to introduce yourself and be like, hey, I watched your show on YouTube. And, that's cool. I'm fine with that. But let's keep at least 6 feet of distance, just to be on the safe side, and no physical contact. Maybe we'll bump elbows, huh? Like Young Frankenstein style. So, anyway, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like it. If you're interested in seeing more of these, I don't know how frequently I'm going to do them. Maybe once a day, maybe once a week, maybe somewhere in between. But it was good talking to you. Take care. Bye.